Hey everyone, I hope you guys are enjoying a Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak in whichever platform you're actually decided to play it on. Today I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion regarding what we can expect as Monster Hunter fans into 2023. We're about 3 months into the year now, heading pretty much at the end of the first quarter, which is usually where more details begin to come out. Usually these back end days of March is when a lot of details begin to pop up. Bigger picture type of things for these companies, usually based out of Japan, where more information begins to trickle out and we can start to see more leaks and details happen regarding their major plans for their fiscal year. And today, basically, I just wanted to go over what can we expect for Monster Hunter, not just for 2023, but recap some of the things that we have already seen happen. Remember that Capcom right now is basically juggling two separate versions of the game. There is the Nintendo Switch PC Steam version of Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, which of course is now heading into this 5th free title update we'll be discussing in a little bit, but also the base version of Monster Hunter Rise, which is available on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, and X, as well as PC Windows. And essentially that version is getting all types of different patches. They're getting adjusted in different ways because it's basically the version on PC, a little bit watered down for those consoles. Remember that base Monster Hunter Rise, even when it launched on the Nintendo Switch, was considered a little bit of an unfinished product. There were no elders at the time of launch. I believe only Ibushi was available, and since then basically a bunch of updates were provided to not only add a bunch of collaborations, which were really good for base Rise on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam, which PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows players have fully been able to take advantage of as of the time of launch on those platforms, but also of course the major updates. I believe it was 3.0, which added all the elders and the true ending. Since then, of course, Sunbreak launched on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. Eventually later this year we're getting it finally on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC Windows, and of course plenty of several free title updates. And one of the things Capcom has learned since those free title updates, I believe maybe there was a clear difference between the first and the second free title updates for Sunbreak, were the fact that essentially they added more end game content and more higher difficulty event quests to pretty much the weekly grind that we have. More difficult quests, higher difficulty parameters, anomaly investigation levels being risen, more grinding pretty much being added into the game, less RNG but more grind. So there's always a trade-off with that. There's been plenty of discussion with that, not just within my channel, but I know I've seen other content creators have this same discussion as well. Whether it is you want more RNG, which is pretty much just random parameters, anything can happen, or do you just want to be able to have a pretty preset ending, or be able to put in the time to be able to reach it. And that is what anomaly investigation has been, with the understanding that, you know, if you're going for like curious crafting, there's plenty of RNG tied to that. So we're getting kind of like both major things towards the end of Sunbreak. PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows players will be able to get their hands on that. So for as far as 2023 so far, we saw the launch of Rise on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC Windows. We saw the 4th free title update drop on the Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. So there's been a pretty good amount of content already for pretty much every platform as of right now in early 2023. But that does not mean that is the end of Rise or Sunbreak. In fact, there's plenty more to come. If you're still a Monster Hunter fan though, and you want to check out something different, there's certainly Wild Hearts available now on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC as well. It's not currently available on the Nintendo Switch, and we don't expect it to be available on the Nintendo Switch, but it is really much kind of like his own thing. I wouldn't necessarily put it even in a comparison head to head. I've seen some people kind of try to do that. Wild Hearts better than Monster Hunter Rise. Monster Hunter Rise better than Wild Hearts. I wouldn't even try to go there. Yes, is a Monster Hunter type game. No, it does not really equate to the same thing. It certainly tries to do its very own thing. And at the end of the day, this is their very first shot. Yes, I know those developers from Koei Tecmo made Toukiden, but Toukiden was not really all that good, and it never really compared to Monster Hunter. And Wild Hearts is trying to do something closer to that, but still with his very own flavor. So it's their first game. If there's ever a Wild Hearts 2, I probably feel more inclined to actually go hogs out and actually do the comparison videos and stuff like that. But for me personally, I think Wild Hearts is fun for what it is, but it's not really, you know, a Monster Hunter a take on like a full-on take of Monster Hunter. It's just kind of like them trying to do something similar, but not really. Still worth checking out nonetheless. Now for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows, like I mentioned, April 28th is when Sunbreak will be dropping. So that is the next keystone moment that we're expecting when it comes to Monster Hunter and Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak. So essentially, April 28th, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows finally get their access to Sunbreak. However, it will be featuring just a third free title update. So there will be some monsters missing, of course, Volcana, Chaotic Gore, stuff like that. Some anomaly, challenges will not be there, but eventually those updates will be rolling out. And the upcoming 5th free title update, which we expect to drop around the same day, if not maybe the week after, will be dropping on Nintendo Switch and PC Steam. I will be making a separate video discussing just all the things we can expect there, and then a separate video on top of that discussing all of the leaks. I don't want to conflate those two things. I know there's a lot of people having discussions on what it is that they want to see in the 5th and potentially final free title update, but also the things that we can fully expect based on what's actually in the data mines. And I don't want to conflate those two separate conversations, so I'll be making separate videos on that within the next upcoming days. Now, aside from Rise and Sunbreak, well, what else can we expect in 2023? Well, we know that Capcom already reported that they will be making a mobile game, potentially, and I say that potentially because there's no real, let's say, leaks or data mining regarding this. We just know that something will be happening with this mobile game later this year. Now, a lot of people are not big fans of mobile games. I understand that, but I will just tell you this much. Go take a closer look at the most recent Persona 5, the Phantom X trailer. It's pretty much Persona 5 Royale releasing on mobile devices with brand new characters and a brand new story. That game doesn't look any different, and it most likely won't play any different than Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royale. So I know Capcom is already been doing a lot of mobile releases in the past. They've kind of had their own limitations or hindrances because of monetizations when it comes to mobile devices. But as far as we know, this is going to be according to their quotes, I should say, this is the closest to you having Monster Hunter on the go. Now, I know they're disregarding the fact that you can pretty much grab your Switch and take it with you. It was already available on the PSP back in the day. It was clearly available on the 3DS with 3, 3U, 4 for generations, Ultimate, whatever you want to call it. So there were plenty of portable versions of Monster Hunter for you to take. But now, of course, mobile devices have fully taken over. And mobile gaming is here to stay. I know a lot of people are not big fans of it, but that is just the reality of the situation. And there is a good thing to remember here, is that the developers have already worked on games like Honor of Kings, which there is a pretty good track record of them doing full-on games that could be playing on your PlayStation 5, Series X, PC, Steam, even the Nintendo Switch, but they are just, on a handheld device. Yes, it's because of monetization and maybe even gacha and stuff like that. There will be some crummy stuff like that. You can't escape it, but that is just the grab all that it comes with mobile gaming right now, that eventually I do hope that they step away from that. Apple Arcade has tried to do a little bit something where you can actually play full-on games without having to rely on monetization, but it is a service. A lot of people don't want to pay for a service, but then we have the opposite of that when it comes to consoles, which is Game Pass, where you're essentially getting quote-unquote free games, but you're paying for a service. So maybe at the end of the day, Apple Arcade or maybe Android eventually can do something in the same vein of Game Pass, takes the same idea of Apple Arcade and makes all of these games that are really good on mobile devices, removes the gacha and actually makes them fully unavailable so you can just unlock things on the go. There are also examples of games that are on mobile devices that have made their way into consoles. We have plenty of those on Nintendo Switch already, which have removed monetization, any gacha or whatever, and they just cost $10-15 or whatever the case is, and those games eventually become available. We expect the same thing to happen here with Persona 5 the Phantom X, and I would wager that eventually, if this mobile game is maybe slightly successful on mobile devices, this Monster Hunter game that we still don't necessarily know the name of will eventually be making its way to consoles, because Capcom is very good at repurposing content. So, that's not taking a shot at them. That is just the reality of the situation. Now, if mobile devices was a complete turn off and you decided to skip within the last 3 minutes of this conversation in this video, that's completely fine. Again, I understand mobile gaming is not a big thing for everyone. And if that is the case for you, then we have amazing news. And that is the fact that, of course, Monster Hunter 6, Monster Hunter World 2, I know a lot of people cringe when I say this, but Monster Hunter Paradise, whenever this game drops, we do expect to see it later this year. And that is most likely going to be taking place in Tokyo Game Show in September. That's going to be after E3. Now, I've seen a lot of people suggest, how come we're not going to see the next Monster Hunter game at E3? Pretty much simple reasoning. Capcom is not going to reveal any new games while they're still trying to profit off of the sales of their current games. So what is the difference between essentially June and September? Well, that's about 3 to 4 months difference. And Capcom is going to be releasing updates still event quest for the Nintendo Switch, PC, Steam versions of the 5th free title update. And like I mentioned at the top of the video, for PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows players, updates for the 4th and 5th free title update will be coming down the road after April 28th. Therefore, we shouldn't be expecting Capcom to not only be putting out updates on the Nintendo Switch and PC Steam for the 5th free title update, but even PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows haven't gotten their 4th or 5th one. They're still going to be getting updates throughout all the way through June. So as E3 is happening, they're just still dropping content. There's a pretty good chance that they might even have a trailer just showcasing stuff that's coming on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows, even though Nintendo Switch and PC players have already had access to the stuff probably 2 to 3 months prior before then. So there is that, juxtaposition where you don't want them to kind of like drop everything all at once, and at the same time, they're just going to hold it off. So this is why Ryosu Sugimoto specifically spoke about the Capcom anniversary of Monster Hunter being fully celebrated, and begin and keep your eyes forward to Tokyo Game Show in September later this year in 2023. And that is why I think fully we should be able to, that is the date that we should circle. I believe it's September 21st or somewhere along those lines when Tokyo Game Show takes place. And that is when you should circle your calendar to expect some sort of course, Capcom spotlight, Capcom presentation. Monster Hunter will be showcased there, and the next mainline game might just get a teaser trailer. I wouldn't even sit here and tell you guys to expect a full-on 5-minute gameplay presentation and we got a release date coming this December. That is not going to happen. I wouldn't even put any money on that. It would just be a teaser trailer with a very quick logo, and then coming 2024 question mark type of thing. And then 2024 is a completely different conversation. Of course, this will be a full-on next generation game, most likely PlayStation 5, Series S, Series X, PC Windows, PC Steam, no Nintendo Switch until Nintendo decides to reveal whatever the hell the next Nintendo Switch version will be, if that's even going to become applicable. So that is pretty much the entire case there. And that is all for 2023. Heading into 2024, of course, Monster Hunter 6, Monster Hunter World 2, Monster Hunter Paradise, whatever it will be called, that will be the first thing that we can speak about when it comes to 24. But for 2023, that is pretty much all we can expect, unless Capcom decides to reveal some sort of spin-off game or something along those lines. But I think the mobile game will most likely take out all the air out of any sort of extras coming our way. But that's about the 2023 recap that I kind of wanted to go over. I know I'm putting this video out in late March. I didn't necessarily want to rush it because we didn't have a lot of details at the beginning of the year. Now a lot of things have happened. Now a lot of things are kind of like, again, beginning to trickle out because physical reports are due for Capcom. We have gotten a lot of details as of recently regarding their plans heading into the year, and I wanted to have a little bit of a concrete idea as to what the platforms, which platforms not only are going to get what and when, but also what we can expect into the foreseeable future. If you're brand new to my channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.